Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to a Friday show. Grounded Football, Tottenham Hotspur, first 11, with the regulars, with the men, the Tottenham men. Alan, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing not too bad. Yourself?
Can't complain.
Yeah, me neither.
Until tomorrow.
And I think it's quite rare. We're doing a show back on the back of the Tottenham win. So there you go. It should be better than what it has been in recent weeks. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find something to complain about, Alan. But
always. I'm a grumpy old man, apparently. So,
Mark, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you. You?
Yes, very good. Thank you, Mark. How's the week treated you?
Yeah, not bad. You know, after Monday night, it was good to go in on Tuesday morning. So yeah, lots of positive things to say. Now we just need to be consistent. Let's onwards and upwards, especially them down the road, not our neighbours, but the other people down the road, capitulating now with everything that's going on. So yeah, on the up, I think.
Yes, definitely. And the man from the one up top, Jacob, who I'm sure will be plugging his show later in the evening. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I've had a busy week, as you all know, just trying to get my own personal stuff set up. But it's been a good week. Started a new job recently, working from home, so can't complain. Everything's been all sweet.
Very good. And speaking of everything sweet, Alan, we go into Monday's game straight away, immediately.
I thought you were coming to me. You said sweet. I thought you were coming to me because no, fine. We'll talk Tottenham.
I thought you were about to start cussing him out straight away. I was thinking,
yeah.
No, I've got to go further in the show before I start calling him out. But the one question I'm going to ask you, Alan, is: have we got the best right back in the country at Tottenham Hotspur?
I'm going to do a Mourinho. I prefer not to speak. No. Why do fans come on? Why do fans do this? 1 or 2 good games and they wax lyrical about a player. I want to see my players do it for a whole season, not this 2 or 3 games. But it's not just Spurs; it's fan bases across the world. They see a player have 2 or 3 good games, and all of a sudden they're the best thing. Then they won't do anything for about 4 or 5 months, and then they'll have one good game where people are like, "I told you he was great." No, I want to see consistency across a full season for my team.
I agree.
Obviously, I know he's not the best right back, but are you happier to see better performances? Like I say, hopefully he can stay consistent, but is it nice to see some actual goal contributions from him, the assists?
It is, but he had the good game against Leeds, but then he had an awful game against, against Middlesbrough in the Cup. And then he's had a good game again, so by law of averages and the way Spurs are, it's going to be a poor game against United and then another thing like that. So, okay, the games he is having and he is creating and he is now scoring, that's really good, especially for a right back and this what Conte wants in his system. He needs to do it on a consistent basis. Not just him, others need to do it as well. Left wing back situation as well. So I'm not just singling him out because people think I hate him, although he is an Arsenal wop, just to put that out there. Other people have got to do it, but it's got to be on a consistent basis. So congratulations to him for upping his game from what he was and scoring a goal and assisting, but it can't be every other game or 1 in 3 games. It has to be towards every game for the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, and the other wing back, he was obviously involved in the first own goal for Michael Keane, which I did read today a statistic that he's actually scored more own goals for Tottenham than Lo Celso has in his Tottenham career, which is very, very. But obviously, Sessegnon, Mark, injured again, another hamstring injury. I mean, what do you do? What do you do with him if you're in charge? Do you keep waiting for him? Do you keep giving him the chances, waiting for an injury to come on?
Bubble wrap.
Just
wrap him in bubble wrap.
Yeah, poor boy, isn't he? And you've heard Conte talk about our medical team as well. He's not too impressed with our medical team, I don't think. I think the lads had a real bad run since he's been at Spurs because I know he was young at Fulham, but he wasn't injury prone at Fulham. He kind of had a good run that season before and that. And to be fair, he's had a couple of good games for us. Since he's been starting with Conte, he's been coming on really nicely. Listen, and I think it's a long one, isn't it? They're talking a month and a half now for this injury. So he could miss all the way through to the end of April, beginning of May, which doesn't bode well. And that only leaves us kind of Reggie, doesn't it? So, yeah, it's a tough one on the kid, because I think he's been performing well. I think Conte likes him. We bought him for a reason. He wasn't cheap as a youngster. So we obviously saw some potential. I just think, like him, he needed a run of games, and he started getting that. And you could see the more he was playing, the kind of better he became, and the more confident he came. And then when he crossed that ball where Doherty scored against Leeds, you could just feel he was getting more and more confident, and he was getting braver and braver. And that's what happens. And then all of a sudden this happens. It's sad, because it would have been nice to be able to, like Alan said the other week, it's nice when you've got two players fighting over one position, because what happens is it creates competition, doesn't it? And you have to do better all the time. So when there's one player, and listen, I think there's an exception, Harry Kane, he's just, and we've only got one of him, but now Reggie might, for the next, he knows I'm the left back. So if I don't perform today, yeah, do you know what? He has to choose me next week because he's got nobody else. So, that's the downside as well, where Sessegnon's playing and Reggie was going to, because Reggie wants to play, let's be honest, you can see he wants, he gets the hump as well. So that's the downside. So I feel sorry for the young lad, and I hope he comes back, but I would keep him still because I think he's still young enough. And from what I've seen over the last few weeks where Conte's given him the run, I think he can perform for us, and I think he can just get better, I think.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, Jacob, the game was obviously all Spurs. We went 2-0 up quite early. I mean, Ravi's obviously asked, do you think Son had a good game Monday? He got his goal, but overall, how do you think he played on Monday?
Yeah, again, he wasn't great. It's weird because, with Son, we're so, he's probably a victim of his own, levels that he's set because, there's times in games gone by in the last sort of 5 weeks, when Son left foot, right foot, and he opens up his body, you're expecting it to just go bang. Like by the time the keeper's dived, it's already in the back of the net. But a lot of the times he's shooting, it's like he's knackered or he's lost muscles in his leg or something. He's just really weak. And even the goal that he scored against Everton, it went in and I was happy for him to score, but I doubt he went home and went to bed and was happy with that goal. Do you know what I mean? Because Pickford should have been saving that really. He wasn't great. I mean, he's getting in the positions and all that stuff, but I'm not sure if you guys remember, there was an instance where we played some nice football. We played through Everton's apparent press. Harry Kane's played a nice through ball into him, and he feels like he's literally stood there as if the whole world had stopped for him to take the chance when Ryan Sessegnon was clear as day. One more pass, and he would have scored. And it was like he's tired physically as well as mentally. I don't know what it is, but then again, we're in a position where we can't drop Son. In some respects, you can, because I think Lucas Moura deserves a few more minutes because he was in bad form for a couple of games. And I'm thinking, if Son's going to keep putting out his performance, give Lucas Moura a little go because I think he's knackered. I think there's something going on with him. I don't think it's anything to do with how a coach or the club or any teammates are treating him. I just think somewhere along the line he's just knackered, a little bit of form, and probably needs what Reguilon needed in a Ryan Sessegnon coming in, because I think Ryan Sessegnon coming in, as Mark alluded to, is give Reggie a kick up the arse, because Reguilon coming against Everton, like he was pissed off. He came on, he's running up and down the line. Within 2 minutes, he scored the goal. And you could just tell he's really pissed off that he ain't been playing. So, as much as our squad isn't brilliant, you still need to have that element of competition. And I think with Son, I wouldn't say do it this week against United because it's an important game and he's one of our best players. But in time, you need to rotate him, Kuzelewski and Lucas and keep them all on their toes for performances going in towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, we got Kirsten in the comments. I don't know who she's calling a Savaloy. It must be Alan. Definitely Alan who she's calling a Savaloy. But Jake, do you want to explain to the viewers why you've got the new headset, the new mic?
Yeah. I've just for ages now, I've been on and off with my own show, so I like to talk football, especially with you guys. And I think, I'm thankful for being on this platform because that's given me the kick up the backside that I needed. Because I think if I wasn't on here, I'll just be saying it, and it'll just get to the point every Friday I'll be down the pub with the boys rather than cracking on with it. So I've just decided over the last couple of weeks just to get involved, and I generally just using it mainly to speak more on Tottenham than I do on here, and give my predictions on the weekend's game. So I'm quite good with predictions and goal scorers. And if anybody wants a cheeky dabble, have a little listen.
Well, you heard it here first. If you want to win some money, go to the one up top. That's where you need to be. But Alan, I'm going to ask you a question now. It's Matt Doherty based again. That's all. Not all you're going to get tonight. I promise you, it's not. But
Alan loves it.
Which pass did you think was better? The pass through for Kane's first, or the dink over for his volley for the second?
The dink for the volley was probably the better one. Oh, it's the same as like Højbjerg's dink for his volley. Not the same, but like them kind of passes are always better because they're harder to do, so they look better on your eye as well. But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know what you're trying to get me to do here. Like with Matt Doherty, it's a bit loaded questioning, so I'm not exactly happy about this. By this host at the moment, so we'll wait for some proper questions to come up.
I'm having a hissy fit.
I'm having a hissy fit. No, okay. He's had 2 good games. Great.
I'm not talking about the games, Alan. I'm talking about
all right. 2 good passes. Great.
No, yes, but come on. I mean, you couldn't have asked for better. You would not have expected him to play.
I wouldn't have expected Højbjerg to play the ball to Kane for Leeds, but he did. The players have that in their lockers. They just can't do it on a consistent enough basis. But yeah, there were 2 good passes.
She's in the comments. There will be no Højbjerg slander on this channel.
It's not it's not slander. It's just saying that he done a good ball, but he can't do it all the time. It's truth. It's not slander. There's a difference. Next question, best be not Matt Doherty based, or I will.
All right then, talk to me about Harry Kane, Alan, because you've obviously been a realist with him this season. You've not been. Obviously, there's so many on Twitter at the minute, or he could pull a 3 or 4 out of 10, and it's still, well, no, Kane's this, Kane's done this for us. But do you see his game up in now? His goal contributions, obviously, he's on 10 league goals now. Is it a bit too late for us this season that he's turned up now?
It is, considering the situation we were in. I mean, it's just stating the fact. Anyway, so with Harry Kane, his performances have improved. And it looks like, I'm not saying he wants to be there, it looks like he wants to play for this manager where he didn't want to play for Nuno. Or I think he wasn't happy with the situation with the contract and then being with Nuno and that. So it's like he wants to play for Conte, which is good because if Conte stays, then he stays because he's now going to be 29 next time, trying to get rid of him an age like close to 30. All it takes is one big injury. He probably misses the season with his body aging and stuff like that. So it's a very tricky situation. But for me, I'm still not going to say he's had a good season until I see the rest of the season. He's starting to sharp now and perform goals, but I want 20 plus goals. I don't care. No, Doherty ain't no. Wow, after 2 games. Oh, no, anyway. For me, I want to see him 20 plus goals. I know he's on 10 now, but for me, if you can get to 20 plus goals and get us, Champions League football, I won't say that it's, everything's forgiven, but, you forget at the end of the day, and obviously that means he stays, probably Conte stays, and there's more money to spend. But his performances are improving. He's getting the goals, and I think he's getting assists now, and not just the effort he's putting in. So it's an improvement, but I just want to see that continue going, just because obviously his name is Harry Kane and he's a Spurs, or he's played for Spurs like all his career. I'll put him in the same bracket as other people. If he doesn't perform well, he gets the same treatment for me. I don't choose favourites so I ban them all together.
Very good, Alan. That's why we like you on this show. You're not a biased supporter. You're just a grumpy man. That's
old man.
Mark, Kulusevski seems to get better with each game. It's like 6 league games, 2 goals, 3 assists for him in a new league.
Isn't it?
I don't think it's. I think it's 2 goals, 3 assists. City and Leeds.
Did he not get one against Everton?
No, he didn't get one.
Oh, 3 assists then. 3 assists. Okay, the other way around. I apologise. I digress.
That's okay, Alan. It's all right. It's fine. But Mark, have you been impressed? Is he impressing you? Do you think there's even more to come?
Oh, absolutely. And I think he's going to get better and better. He's 21, isn't he? Didn't I hear a stat the other day that he's only 6 months older than...
Jack Clark.
No, not Jack Clark. Somebody else that's blowing it up. I saw something where he's everybody this wonder kid and everything, and they said, well, he's only 6. It's crazy to think that he's only 6 months older, and he's 21 and a half, and he's doing this already. He's come to the Premier League now. Everybody says you come to the Premier League, and it takes a year to settle in. Our league's the best. It's not the same in Italy and everything, but he seems to have taken to like a duck to water, hasn't he? He's not the quickest, but you know what? He's got a brain on him. He's like, he knows where the ball's going to go. He knows. It was, when was it? The other day he crossed with, so he's left-footed, but he crossed with his right, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've seen a player for us that's crossed the ball with their left and right foot, but actually got it over the first defender. Because usually they, even Christian Eriksen used to hit the first defender or something, and that was with his good foot, So now I'm very impressed with him. I think there's going to be better. There's more to come. Can you imagine when the summer comes, when we've made 4th and we're going to the Champions League, and he gets 150 million to spend, and he brings some great people in, and he plays again alongside with them. And I think he's finding his feet with Harry Kane now as well. I think he's finding the Spurs way. I just think the guy's going to get better and better. And he's impressed me, with 2 goals and 3 assists. I think he can only get better. And the good thing there as well, we've also got, we've got Lucas Moura, and we go back to that old age thing. You've got 2 people for 1 position. So if he does lose a little bit of form, you've got Lucas who's chomping at the bit. You know what I mean? If somebody does get a little bit tired, you can always. He might be playing better than Lucas at the moment, but let's not forget, before he came along, Lucas, out of all our players, including Harry Kane, Lucas was the one that was kind of outshining everybody in the beginning of the season, to be fair. So, it's a bit unfair on Lucas now. He's sitting on the bench, but how do you drop Kulusevski? You know what I mean? The guy's, he's either creating a goal or he's scoring a goal. So it's very difficult now. Lucas has to earn his place back. And like we talked earlier, he's chomping at the bit. So that's going to make him hungrier, like Reggie comes on second half. He's on 46 seconds and he's banging a goal in. He couldn't bang a goal in for the last year and a half.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, is this what we've been waiting for, Jacob? I mean, the system we play, the wing backs, you need serious involvement from your wing backs. Obviously, Sessegnon got the assist for the own goal for the first goal. Doherty got 2 assists. Reguilon came on and scored. Is that why we're always clamoring for upgrades on the players we've already got? Because we know how important they are in this system.
Yeah, it's not just in the system; it's just in football in general now. Like you look at Liverpool, I'm not saying that the fullbacks are the be all and end all of their success, but they're more than instrumental. Everybody talks about Salah, Mane, Firmino, Jota, and all these guys, but realistically, if their fullbacks didn't push forward, I don't think those guys get as many goals, because the reason why they get so many goals is because the fullbacks are pushing forward. They're not only scoring goals, they're assisting a lot. Like Trent Alexander-Arnold's assisting more goals than most wingers in Europe. So it's more than important, especially when you're playing the system that we do, that your fullbacks are contributing something. You look at Emerson Royal. If Emerson Royal was playing in a flat back 4, I don't think he would be excellent, but he would be probably a 7 out of 10, because he's not the absolute worst at defending, but because he's being told to go up and down the lines, that ruins his thought process for positioning as a right back. So then it gets to the point where when goals are going in, he doesn't even know where to go anymore because he's playing out of position. So, I've always said that even though we've got 2 crap wing backs, Matt Doherty is probably the best out of the 2. Reguilon, I think needed that kick up the backside, because I think he was far too comfortable. And I was the first person to say, why does Sessegnon keep playing? But when you deep it and look back, you think it was the right thing for Conte to do. I don't know what Conte's thought process was, but it got to the point where, whilst he gave Reguilon a kick up the backside, he gave Sessegnon a belief that he can be, important for the rest of the season. So, like you said, the fullbacks are more than important, because they're the only people in this team that are going to provide the width. You don't see Son coming out to provide for crosses, and Kuzelewski does it, but effectively, if we had a better right back, for instance, in an ideal world, if you had a fullback that was similar to what Trent Alexander does, you probably find Kuzelewski scoring more goals, because he hasn't got to come out wide to cross. He's in the centre, getting on the end of the crosses to score the goals.
Yeah, I mean, I have got a comment from Ravier about Doherty. I've been told by the man on my right, there's no more Doherty talk. He's fed up of it. No more questions about Doherty. And of course, he is in the second main chair on this show tonight. So we'll leave it at that. I've got a different player for you, Alan.
Okay.
I've asked Mark about Kulusevski. Jacobs spoke about Kulusevski a bit there. Tim Sherwood said today about Rodrigo Bentancur that he loses the ball more than he retains it, and when he does retain it, all he does is go from side to side and backwards. Now, is he mixing Bentancur with Winks, or is he just that daft at his analysis?
He's mixing Bentancur with himself.
Yeah,
that's what Tim Sherwood used to do.
Yeah, so I don't understand what maybe he needs to go Specsavers. Maybe he still thinks Harry Winks is playing, but no, I mean, don't get me wrong, Bentancur isn't, he does lose the ball. He doesn't, every pass doesn't come off and all that, but that midfield looks so much calmer. It looks like it's got so much more steel about it after just one or two games when Harry Winks is not in there, because, like I said, Harry Winks is like a boy in that midfield, muscled, no passing all that. But he's a work in progress. He's only had several games in the team, and for me, it's a massive improvement on what we had. I don't know what's going to happen until when Skip comes back, whether it's going to be like Skip and Bentancur, or whether he's going to go to a free, because I think Skip goes back into that team. So we'll have to wait and see. But Bentancur, for me, is doing a good job so far. I don't know what happened there. He disappears, like done a magic trick. Yeah, he's done a good job so far. He can progress the ball forward. I think it was it a Man City game? The ball between the lines or something like that to create a chance. Yeah. So he can progress the ball forward. So I think Tim Sherwood's been a bit salty because maybe his friend Harry Winks isn't playing. Oh well, go over it. I don't really care, but work in progress. But I see promising signs from him, and the more I think he plays in that team, if he gets a regular partner in midfield, if we stick with the 3-4-3. I reckon you'll see him get better and better. But he's got some tricks about him. You can see him coming under pressure as well. The Man City thing, the drag backs in the penalty area to get away from people. So he's got ability. Just obviously got to get the right performances out of him, and I reckon he'll do well for this team.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I saw you shaking your head when I was talking about that. What Tim Sherwood said. I mean, is he just trying to protect his old mate Harry Winks when he was a manager at this club?
Most probably. Look, Bentancur for me. When you see a player and you think the game's just flowing so smoothly and you don't realize he's there. He's just there, but he's not there, kind of thing. And I think he's a great addition. For me, I think he's the guy that we talk least about, but I think he's been the most effective in our team. He's controlled everything in the middle for everybody else to do what they do. I think he's so silky. He reminds me a little bit about Moussa Dembele. When he's got the ball, he's so commanding. Even in our big box or just outside our big box, he's not bothered to take it and move a little bit of there. And I think he's act. I think this young guy's he's gonna take us places. I think a few more additions, and I really rate him. And I think the last few games that he's played, it's just been a pity. He was out for 4 or 5 games with his injury. And that's the problem that we've had. There's been some key kind of like you look at Skippy, you look at Bentancur, You look at Romero, how long he was out for. We've had some key injuries over the season, and like other sides have, some of their great players have been out. But when we've got such a thin squad, I just think people like Bentancur and that can drive forward. And that's the one thing, the difference between Winks. When he gets the ball, he wants to go forward all the time. And he wants the ball all the time. I don't know if you notice, he stands in the thing and he's like, come on, give me the ball, because he knows what to do with it. He's not scared to play it. I've got a lot of time for him. And I think the longer he stays with Conte, I just think he'll turn him into a world beater. You watch this kid in the next 2 years or so. I'm just so glad we've got him.
Yeah, he's turned out to be a bit of a good business for us. What was he, 20 million, I think he cost him. Obviously, he's not like Kulusevski. We've actually bought him outright. He's not a loan with an obligation or option to buy. But, Jacob, what are your thoughts on Bentancur and how he started with us?
Yeah. I agree with what the guys are saying. I think he shored it up. It doesn't matter whether it was Bentancur or anyone else. It didn't really take too much of a midfielder to improve the midfield that we had before he arrived. So any midfielder that was at Bentancur's level or better was always going to improve our midfield anyway. But I think he like Mark says, he is silky with it. It's weird because the way he moves around in midfield, he runs around like Berbatov, but he's a midfielder. It's really weird. It's like, I remember how Berbatov used to run the lines at Spurs back in the day, and he does that by midfield. And I like it because not only does he command the ball, Harry Winks always commands the ball, but the problem is you're just thinking, as much you're asking for it, do you know what you're going to do with it? And he does know what he's going to do with it, but he doesn't execute it a lot of the time. So, yeah, Bentancur's brilliant. He's definitely our best central midfielder because, especially in this day and age, you can't afford to just have a Højbjerg that, Højbjerg for what he is, breaking up play and all that. He's reasonably good at doing that. He's fell off a bit on that, but that's his main priority. But then once he wins the ball back, there's no point in him winning it back because he just gives it back again. You know what I mean? Or he does something stupid and throws his arms in the air, trying to look as if, the other player should have got on the end of it, but it was a shit pass. So, Bentancur, for me, is brilliant, along with Kulusevski. I was the first person to say, why are we going to Juventus and picking up players that they're not using? But I'm glad that they haven't walked through the door as Juventus reserves. They've kind of walked through the door saying, look, we felt that we should have played for Juventus and we're going to come to Tottenham and use that as a platform to help the club out, as well as prove that we're not what everybody's talking about. So, we've given our credit to Kulusevski, but Bentancur has been brilliant. He's another one that I look at and think he's the first name on the team sheet. And, if we were going to United tomorrow with Højbjerg and Harry Winks, part of you wouldn't even want to watch it. But with Bentancur and Kulusevski in there, Harry came back on form. I think just from that foundation of Bentancur doing well, it gives Højbjerg a little bit of a lift that he's got a decent enough partner now because Skip's injured, and we should do okay.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob, I'll stick with you on this one because Ravi's got a couple of questions for the panel, but he's asked when are Spurs selling Winks? I mean, we've all said it before. It's time for him to go, but how would you sell him? Would you hope a club comes in for him, or is he a player that you offer as a part exchange plus money for like a Tariq Lamptey for Brighton or a Livramento that's been linked today?
Take a pack of Skittles for him. Get him out of the club.
Is your name Jacob?
I don't care.
I was pretty much going to say the same thing anyway. But a lot of people talk about part exchange. You don't get many clubs that are doing it. You just want the money, and then you want the money to decide what you want to do with. Now, Harry Winks, even though we don't like him, he is pretty much a Premier League player. He would get a Premier League move, but you've just literally got to do what you did with Dele Alli. Like, how did we get rid of Dele Alli for 10 million and just say, you know what, let's cut our losses? But we're here with Harry Winks talking about 40 million. In my eyes, if you were going to do it, you might as well have done it the other way around. you might as well have tried to get 40 million for Dele Alli, because I'm not saying you'd get 40 million, but you'd get closer to 40 million for Dele Alli than you would for Harry Winks. You know what I mean? So for me, the business end of these deals is just stupid, because the money that we probably received for Dele Alli, Ndombele, and Lo Celso, fair enough, a couple of them are on loan, but we're trying to get more money than that combined for Harry Winks, who ain't done shit for the last 3 years. You know what I mean? He ain't really done. He literally hasn't done anything. He's come on. He's had a couple of good games when Mourinho wanted him to. You know, when Mourinho's given him a chance, he's had a good 3 weeks. You know, Conte's wanted him. He's had a good 3 weeks. Pochettino, he had a good, you know, I'd say 6 months to a year. But effectively, if we're a club that are saying we're going to try and, you know, win some trophies, at least push for a Champions League spot, you're just not cutting the mustard. You know, if you're looking at him, he'd be a perfect addition to someone like Crystal Palace. You know, Crystal Palace ain't the greatest in centre midfield. I'm sure they would look at him. But then again, with the performances he's putting in against Tottenham, he might go there as the big signing or whatever, but then he'd probably find his way back on the bench at Crystal Palace, because he's just not putting in the mileage. So the only way you get rid of him is just pretty much putting him up for sale for, like Alan says, a packet of Skittles. And a packet of Skittles in terms of football is, you know, 10 million, which is pretty much what we got rid of Dele Alli for.
I won't even do Skittles. I'll go straight to the Freddo. I won't even bother with the Skittles. I'll go straight to the Freddo.
I'll take half a curly whirly for him. I really would. Just half. That's I don't know.
A curly whirly that pounds on the pavement.
Half, yeah, just half.
I mean, this next one, I will go to you, Alan. I'll obviously go to you with this one, but this one's about Bergwijn, if he's better off the bench or better starting games. I mean, now he is behind Son, Kulusevski, and Lucas Moura, so he's fourth favourite for a wing position. Do you see him as an asset coming off the bench in some games, or do you think it's someone that we could have made a bit of money off and gone for other players in the January window?
I just don't see him as an asset to this team, really, and I'll tell you for why. So, again, like, he started well, got a goal against Man City. He then, I think, for a calendar year, didn't score again, or he got a goal against Manchester United. Well, that was his last game, and then, like, it went full calendar year without scoring. Then he has one good game where he comes off the bench and scores 2 late goals and all that. Yeah, okay, that's great. It gets us to 3 points. You know, I was surprised by it, and I was even giving him praise for coming off the bench. And then every time he comes off the bench since, he's just awful. You know, and then when he starts, he's awful as well. You know, he's not consistent enough. And for me, consistency is key. If you want to, at the moment where we are challenging for top 4 or win trophies or win titles, you have to have a consistent team all putting the same thing, and having the odd performance here or there coming off the bench or starting isn't good enough. So for me, he's one we should have cashed in on. And, you know, I'm not saying he hasn't got ability or technique or skill on the ball. He does. But as an overall asset to the team and improving that team, he doesn't do it.
Well, I'll ask you, Alan, I'll follow on from that with you. Is he a bit like what Brian Hill seems to be, or an Ndombele? They've got the talent, but the English Premier League is just not suited to what they can do.
I agree. So for me, I mean, the fact is, Brian Hill, what he's doing in Spain, he looked like an absolute baller, and I think he'll be a really good player. I think he'll be one of the best players in Europe. I really do. Like, in the future, I don't think it's going to be in the Premier League, and it won't be for Spurs. It will be in Spain. I think he's one of them. And if there's people watching and all that, I'm not comparing him to Messi, but what I'm saying, Messi was a one thing like he's gone to Paris, he's gone to a thing like that, and he's just not doing it. People will say his age, but I'm sorry, Messi was comfortable in that Barcelona team with everything going right. I think Brian Hill is the same type of player. If he's in the right team, the right surroundings, in the right league, I think he'll be an absolute baller. I think if you try and step up and go to a different league, like he did try and come into, I think he even said out his own mouth, the physicality and the pace and all that, he was not expecting it. I think he's just not suited to the Premier League, which is just a shame, because I think he's got a bright future. And Ndombele has got the ability, but he's got no drive, no determination. You know, he's one of these, like, he believes he's a luxury player, but in the Premier League, you don't really get luxury players. You still have to put the effort in. So, yeah, in a way, I think he's just better, not as good as the pair of them, but he's similar, if you know what I mean, in the way that it's just not going to work out in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it on this show before. Me, you, Mark, when Jacob weren't here. If Harry Winks had the Ndombele ability with his drive, he would be a world-class player.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we've got the worst of both worlds, where we've got a guy with drive and no talent, and a guy with talent but no drive. I mean, Mark, I'll come to you on the next player. Obviously, I said to Alan earlier about Kane. He's very unbiased with Kane. If he feels Kane's playing poorly, he will call Kane out. You're the same on this show with Conte. If you feel he's made a mistake, if you feel like he's picked the wrong side or wrong subs, you will say it. But how important was it that he took Romero off 5 minutes into the second half? It was a great challenge on Richarlison. That was one of my favourite parts of the game, to see him snap Richarlison in an unnecessary position as well. He didn't have to do it, but he snapped it. But could you imagine going into Old Trafford with Sanchez instead of Romero?
No, I couldn't. And listen, and that's why we pay him the big bucks. That's just, I think we could all see it coming, but you've got to make those decisions. I think he could see what was happening. He knew the same. He took Son off. He just Romero was on a red card. You know what I mean? You could see that happening. Brazilian versus Argentinian. There's no love lost. There was a little bit extra in that. Although I still believe he was going for the ball, I just think he kind of kicked the ball away, and he thought, well, I'll take you all out. But yeah, see, and that's where Conte. That's where great managers get their names from, because they can, on decisions like that, can change the outcome, not of the game that you're playing, but the next game, like you just alluded to. Can you imagine going to Man United and you don't have the likes of Romero? That would be bigger to us. We don't get me wrong. I think even if he gets sent off, we still go and win that game. I don't think we lose that game. We might have let in 2 goals. The problem that you've got is we'd be sitting here talking now about tomorrow's game without Romero, and that's where the biggest thing. So that's where I think, these great managers like the Peps, the Klopps, the Mourinhos and all that, I think this is where they earn their crust, when they know to bring somebody on, take somebody off. Look, we could have all sat there and gone, oh, we need to get Romero off. What were we, 4-0 up at that time? So it was a no-brainer. Would he have done the same if we were 0-0? And that's different. So, it was kind of a no-brainer, but this is where these guys start to earn their money. You know what I mean? So, listen, I think if he stayed on, I think you're right. That card would have come, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. He is an absolute hothead. I love him for it. I love him. He just goes in. He then got. And what I love about him as well is if there's like a little scuffle on the pitch between anyone, he's the first one there. He's knocking people over, which is dangerous. Of course it is, but we need.
Richarlison, all he does is fall down, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But that one he didn't just fall down. That one he actually got taken out, didn't he? And that's why I think all us Spurs fans, when we saw it, when you look back on it, you think, that's for all the times where he's like, I think it was the previous game he played against us. He was on the floor for half the time, wasn't he? And then he holds his ankle up, and then he gets the free kick, and then all of a sudden he's healthy and he gets up and he walks away like nothing's happened. And you just think, come on, man. And I think that's where sometimes the referees, you make a name for yourself for being a hard challenger, but then you also make a name for yourself of kind of being a diver. So sometimes referees go, no, not for me, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
What makes it funny with Richarlison is on a tackle like Romero's, he's up immediately. But when he gets a little shove in the back, that's it. Then he's done. He's down for 5 minutes. Medical emergency. Get on the pitch. I mean, Jacob, you left us for a few. Was it about a month, 6 weeks? You left us for your night shift, selfish, earning money for your family. What are your thoughts on Romero? How do you think he's setting it? What do you think about his partnership with Dyer at the minute?
Yeah, I love it. It's not really it's a partnership. It's like, them two are helping out Ben Davies, aren't they? And, I think because them two are solid enough, he's helping Ben Davies to flourish. But I like Romero. For me, whatever level you're playing at football, whether it's a professional level or, you know, even amateur level that I play at from time to time, for me, as much as those sort of players with their, you know, with their aggression and stuff can keep you on the edge of when you're playing the game, I think you need them. You need somebody that's just going to be on the edge. You know, you look at Liverpool, for instance, when they had Suarez. Suarez could turn up one day and bang 4 goals, but then the next day he's thinking, oh, you know what, I might bite someone's shoulder. But it's like you kind of need that. You know, it's the same with Diego Costa. You know, as Spurs fans, we look back at the game at the Bridge. You know, we've always been prior to that game as a soft touch. So we looked at that as a game where Tottenham turned up, where, you know, Dembele was poking people in the eye. You know, Danny Rose was kicking the crap out of people. Eric Dyers, you know, everyone was getting booked. And for me, I was pissed off with the result, but I was happy that finally we've got a team of men. You know what I mean? Because when I play football, you know, all the players that Tottenham have ever played for Tottenham are all better than me. But when I play football, as much as I might come across as a nice guy, when I play football, that's the way I play. It's just, I want to win it, and if I've got to win it by kicking someone every now and again, then I'll do it. But
you dirty bastard.
No, I'll do it fairly, but it's like if you get injured, I definitely went for the ball. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to break your leg, but if I break your leg getting the ball, that's your fault for being soft.
Yeah, I kick people fairly. I break people's legs fairly. What kind of things am I listening to?
No, what I'm saying is, if I go for the ball and I get the ball, but then you break your leg, that's
fair. Yeah.
It is though. I got the ball first, but then the follow through injured you. So what do you do? You know what I mean?
Oh, Jacob,
Jim.
I love it. But you know what? Talking about someone like Diego Costa, he was nuts on the pitch. He didn't want no shit with Dembele at that game, the Battle of the Bridge.
No shit with him. You know what I mean? Dembele's like, for me, one of the strongest players I think the Premier League's probably ever seen.
Hey,
you know what I mean? I remember there's one time we played Man City and he shoulder barred Yaya Toure, and Yaya Toure was on the floor, and I was like, what? I had to rewind it. I was like, did I just say that? You know what I mean?
Hey, we've got Harry Winks now. We've replaced Dembele with Harry Winks. We are in
muscles.
Right.
More like Mr. Muscle.
Hey, Alan,
he's a plumber, isn't he?
Come on. Alan, stop being nasty all the time.
It's true.
It's
true.
Right, we are 42 minutes in now. We've got to get to the game at the weekend. It's a huge, huge game at the weekend. Alan, are you surprised that Tottenham come to town and now Man United have Ronaldo, Cavani and Varane all available to play from the start, last 90 minutes? Does it change anything for you with those three fit and available?
I mean, let's be honest. So obviously, Ronaldo is still dangerous, although he's aging. I think he's obviously past his best. He's still dangerous. Varane can have the odd good performance, and Cavani, I've always said it, his movement causes problems. It did when they came to us and beat us 3-1 last season behind closed doors. Cavani's movement caused all sorts of problems for Eric Dyer. Literally, Eric Dyer lost him time and time again. So, but then Man United haven't been playing well. You know, when they have their name players in, they've been all over the place. They've not been playing well. It just so happens that normally Spurs will rock up there and, you know, we hand them 3 points because we always play poor away from, although the 6-1 is the standout performance. Normally, we don't really do well away from home there. But it depends on Spurs. I mean, we've had some good results. We've had some horrific results. And it just, like I said, predicting a Spurs game at the moment is trying to predict the lottery numbers. You can't really do it. Performances are all over the place, conceding goals stupidly, then going and win 4 and 5-0. But then to be fair, let's be honest, if you're in a poor run of form, the teams you want to be playing back-to-back are Leeds, who play open, expansive football, and then Everton, who are just all over the place. And under Frank Lampard, I believe he's getting them relegated because he's not ready for a survival fight in the Premier League. So they're two ideal games back-to-back to help you. We now go to Man United, a must-win game. And we know when Spurs go for a must-win game recently, we lose. So it's going to be tough. It always is when we go away to Man United, especially, you know, the way we're inconsistent with performances. It's going to be a tough game. But I'll always back Spurs, unlike the ones down the road who like to give their teams a free hit against the other big six. No, not for me. I want the Spurs to win, and I'm going to predict Well, are we doing predictions now, or do you just want my?
Hold
Be
on, Alan.
patient.
Okay.
Be patient, Alan.
Be patient.
Alan's got to go out now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Alan, where's the foreplay? What's wrong with you? Where's the foreplay?
Where's the foreplay? I want to get down to it.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's going to be a tough game. But it's one of them. I said I put on Twitter, Dr. Tottenham will see us against for Everton, and it turned out to be the complete other way. I'm confident that we can put them to performance against Man United, and we'll probably end up losing. It's just the way it is for Spurs at the moment, so we'll see.
I've got a comment here from Coys.com now. It could either be Carl, it could either be Dan, or it could just be a thingy, because Dembele was strong until Pogba done him in an FA Cup semi-final. I mean, who would badmouth Dembele? If it's Carl, I'm very disappointed in you, Carl. I will still be there Monday, but I will not talk to you. If it's Dan, I'm even more disappointed. And if it's a fake, then I have the power to block people on this.
No.
So,
he does get drunk with power, guys. I've seen him do it. He does get drunk with power. And he is drinking bud, so.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's a sorry chaps in here. I don't know who it is. Reveal yourself to the channel. Oh, bloody hell, Carl. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? You don't badmouth Dembele on this channel, Carl.
But then I did see there was a Premier League game where Dembele he bullied Pogba, so players have good and bad games. So it is what it is.
Well said, Alan. Well, that's the best thing you've said over this 2 years over this channel. Well said.
What the hell? I want to speak to management.
Mark, I mean, Alan's just spoke about it there. Obviously, it was the best time to play Leeds at the time. Everton come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, or what could soon to be known as the Amazon Stadium, the Nike Stadium, the Waitrose Stadium, anything, whatever they've got in the pipeline for this stadium. We don't know. It's Daniel Levy. It could be anything. It could be the Roman Abramovich Stadium for all we know. This is Daniel Levy.
Skittles Stadium. I'm going with Skittles.
Is this the best time to play Man U as well? I mean, the fans are going to be on the back. They've just been battered by Man City. I mean, it's not easy to do the double or beat Man City in a season.
I think so. I think they're in disarray at the moment. In a way, I'll be honest with you, I hope Cristiano Ronaldo does play. With all the ongoings on the field and off the field, whether he should be playing, whether he should be treated like that, because I think it's a mental thing. I think if it gets in their heads, and they go 1-0 down, if we score early tomorrow, I think you can see them capitulate. I see another 6-1 like the other year. I haven't read anywhere that Cavani's back. Maybe you've read. I've not seen anything, so that doesn't mean he's not back. But I was listening to Radio 5 Live coming home tonight, and they were saying that there's still no talk whether he'll be in the side or whether he'll start or not. So, and Varane, I don't listen. I've not really watched him play. I think United's defense are awful at the moment. So yeah, I think it is the best time to play them. I think we go up there. We're coming off a great win. They're coming off a thumping. Their confidence can't be high. There's a lot going on behind the scene. I don't know whether a lot of players, I was just looking at something now. Marcus Rashford, there could be chance that he's going to go. He's not happy. Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know. Last week he didn't play, but his sister dropped a message on Twitter or somewhere saying that no, he's fine. He's 100%. He just wasn't chosen. So something's not right there. But then you look on the other hand, is there ever a good time to play Man United? It's a tough one, but yeah, I'm quite confident about tomorrow, if I'm honest. Yeah. But saying that, I have been confident on other teams, and Burnley, I was very confident.
What? Who's Burnley? What happened?
That's when we got the WhatsApp, Mark. That's when we had an evening of the WhatsApp, Mark. not this YouTube. I mean, Jacob, like I said, remember Carl is in the comments. This could possibly be your audition for the Monday night. TheCoys.com. It could be coming up with this audition. I mean, obviously, he's put that United will suit our style of play. You can see Kane and Son having a field day. Do you see it the same? Do you see the usual them dominating the ball as playing the counter-attack football? Do you think that will suit us tomorrow if that's how it goes?
The thing is, though, I should see it, but because I've supported Tottenham long enough, you always have that sense that it just won't happen. Do you know what I mean? It'll get to the point where we've had scenarios where we've dominated at Old Trafford and lost 1-0. There's times where we've played crap at Old Trafford and gone and won. And, you know, we've had referee decisions, all sorts. You know, I think I would have preferred to play Man United if they beat Man City, because then they would have had a little bit of confidence and then we would have picked them off because they would have probably underestimated us after beating Man City. But because they've lost to Man City and they've been battered and humiliated in their own town, they're going to want to use this as a platform to, you know, get their confidence back. And although it's pretty slim for them to get top four because Arsenal are quite far ahead of them with games in hand, they pretty much know that if they drop points here or better yet lose this game, not only are they out of the Champions League, it gives us leverage to go and get it. So, you know, it just depends what United turn up. They've got to look at themselves as players and decide collectively, do we want to care about our personal problems with the club, or do we want to do this for the fans and put Man United where they're supposed to be? Because, you know, 10 years ago, if you told me that Man United are going to be struggling like this, I would have given you $4,000 to make sure that it happens, because I don't like United. But it's happened, you know, since Fergie's left, they ain't done nothing. And it's for a club like Man United, as much as I don't like them, I've always respect them. They're a massive club and they're pretty much doing a Tottenham but they're spending sort of, you know, 300-400 million a coach. So it's a big game, but it's one of those, as much as we are on good form, you know, we've scored 9 goals without conceding any in the Premier League. This is where Tottenham need to go there and just win the game, because I think if we win the game, not only do we take Man United and West Ham out of the equation, we put the pressure on Arsenal to go and beat a Leicester who have found their feet again. So it's a must win, but you know, it's Tottenham, so anything could happen. We could do what we did last season and win 6-1, or we could end up doing what we did earlier against Man United in the season with Nuno and lose 3-0 at home. So, you know, flip a coin. I might get my kids to give me a prediction.
Before I go to Alan, and we'll go more into predictions and whatnot, obviously, everyone watching, thank you very much again for joining us on a Friday night. Don't forget to subscribe to the First 11. Have your notifications on for every Friday. And also, just because the boss of Coys.com is in, there you will find us on YouTube at Coys.com every Monday. Myself, we've just done one on Tuesday due to the Everton game. Myself, Carl, Patrick, and the Spurs legend that is Mickey Hazard. Every Monday night we will be there. But Alan,
yes,
we've got one from Kirsty here. She's going to say a very brave, overconfident 3-2 Spurs win. That's what her head says. Her heart says 2-2. Kirst, I'm not in this game for 2 predictions. I need a certain prediction from you.
Yeah, don't
Mark,
be greedy.
Yeah, I mean, Mark is winning at the minute. I get none of us want to see Mark finish the season on top of the table, getting the prize.
Well, I'm happy for Mark to finish top of the table, because he's so positive that means if he won it, it's because because we were winning.
Well, he is, Jacob. But
the reason why I'm bottom is because I always think we're going to lose.
You're not actually bottom, Jacob. Kirst is bottom. I think that's why she's given the 2 predictions.
Oh.
That's why she's doing it. I mean, she's being real.
She's in the Europa spot, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, there we go. Look, 3-2 to Tottenham. It's a good prediction, because, I mean, Alan, first one is, do you see us making any changes from the Everton side? Obviously, I think if you watch Monday night, everyone saw the statistic of how we play under Conte at the minute. Less than, was it 4 or 5 days training, we lose I think we've lost every game but one. When he has 6 or 7 plus days training with the side, I don't think we've lost under him since he's had that long. Do you see any changes, or do you think we'll go same 11? And what is your prediction?
The only change I see is Reguilon for Sessegnon because of the injury, and I think he'll keep with the same. So I don't know the exact statistic, but obviously we played Monday and it's Saturday, so by that logic, like only 4 days training, we're not in the best shape, so we're going to lose. But now, yeah, I see same team apart from Reguilon being in there. I don't see any other changes. Do you want my prediction now, or do I have to still wait?
You know what, Alan? I'm ready for your prediction. I'm a foreplay, Alan. Give me a prediction.
There you go. Now we've slowed it down and had a bit of foreplay. So for me, I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs, and Harry Kane to score first. That's me trying to be as positive as possible. Like I said, this game could be any kind of prediction. For me, it could be like El Sakaco 2. One manager that seems like he wants to get away from Spurs, and the other one's Ralph Rangnick, so things aren't going well for him. I think I'm going to stick with 2-1, Harry Kane score first. But like we said, it could be a really big scoreline either way, could be a draw. It's just these are two teams that are hit and miss, one's out of form, and then can put in a good performance. We can score loads of goals, we can concede loads of goals. I don't know, but I'm just going to go with an arrow Spurs win 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, Carl obviously in the comments says we'll either turn up and turn the screw on them, or it'll be the other way in a dreadful 3-0 loss. He's confident now. I mean, Mark, are you the same as Alan, just the one change? And how do you see the game going, and what's your prediction?
Yeah, I think we'll play the Conte way, won't we? I think, same as Alan. I think you'll see Reguilon come in. I think he'll play Doherty. I'd like to think you, after the last couple of games, you'd play Doherty and not bring in Emerson Royal in. But you never know with Conte, he might come out and say, I need to give some of my players rest and things like that. I don't see him sticking in Lucas. I think that's more like against Brighton, maybe midweek. So I think he'll play his strongest 11 on Saturday. I'm going to go 3-1. I think we will. I think confidence. We've got a lot more confidence. I think. I think Bentancur will run the middle. I think you'll see Kuleski, or what do we call him? What's his nickname?
Kulu.
Scorer. I want Bentancur to score something, you know what I mean? But I don't think I
can tell in your WhatsApps. You love him.
Yeah, I think he's really good. I'm gonna go. Oh God, yeah, I'm gonna go Harry Kane. It's like a no-brainer, isn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 Harry Kane. I think we'll play the Conte way. I think we'll let Man United kind of come onto us. And then, listen, any team that, and I think Ralph Rangnick's not silly. He's going to say, be very careful, because any team that comes onto us, if we break, we're lethal. And if you look at us against Everton, I thought we were very good, but I don't think we were in 7th gear, if you know what I mean. And I know Everton weren't great, but we were clinical. The chances we had, like Kane and things like that, name any other striker that maybe would have scored that goal that Harry Kane scored, the 4th or 5th goal. There's not many that would have scored that goal. And Harry Kane must probably tell you the same. He could do that 100 times and maybe score 15 only, and he even came out in his interview. So, yeah, I think we're on a bit of a roll at the moment. It will be 5 days. I think we'll go there and do them, and I hope we do. My worry is we do them, and then we go to Brighton, and that's where we fuck it up.
It's the history of Tottenham.
Language, Mark. Come on.
Apologies.
Show. This is what
There's
Alan's done. This is what Alan's done to you. Made you curse.
Children's show. Sorry, I do.
Oh, yeah, I don't fucking swear.
My kids watch this.
How dare you?
Come on, right. Before I go to Jacob, we've obviously got one from Kirst. I do need your goal scorer as well. I don't just need your prediction. If you want to, you've given me 2 predictions. You may as well give me 2 goal scorers as well. If it's going to work like this, I mean, she has put Ronaldo's going to spit his dummy out over something stupid. Sonny to have at least 2 shots. Kane to score first. Well, there we go. Kane to score first. No need for the rest of the comments, Kirst. I know Kane now. Slabhead to miss a header in the net. Is that Maguire or that?
Yeah, that must be Maguire, right?
Maguire or Dyer. We need confirmation on Slabhead.
No, I think it's Maguire.
Yeah.
And Hernandez to score at some point. Yep, she has come back in with a Kane prediction. Thank you, Kirsten.
Do you think they'll get a penalty?
It depends. I don't know who the referee
they
is.
definitely get a penalty.
Oh,
They'll definitely get one.
It's the big boy, John Moss.
Is it John? Oh,
Jacob's prediction has changed like that.
no, it's reiterated my prediction even more now.
Oh, well, here we go. I mean, Carl has put he's more confident for tomorrow than Brighton. It's exactly how Mark feels as well, Carl. That's Tottenham. That's a life of a Tottenham fan. Mr. The one up top, give us your prediction. Give us your thoughts for the game.
Yep, my first goal scorer is going to be Kuzelewski. I think with United, it's been proven that teams exposed their left-hand side with Maguire and either Luke Shaw or Telles. You know, Luke Shaw hasn't lived up to what he was doing at the Euros, and Telles is more attacking than going backwards. So I think if we exploit their right-hand side, hopefully Matt Dockett.
Speaking to my brother, he's a Man U fan. He said that they've still got no Luke Shaw or McTominay for tomorrow's game.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Yeah, so well, if you're saying that, then that means they go with Telles, Maguire, which I think we can exploit, which would mean it would be Fred and Pogba.
Yeah.
So they'll probably have to go quite attacking. You know, for me, Pogba is the one person that I worry about because he's the sort of guy that turns up in these games because he's trying to win a contract, isn't he? So he looks at these games and thinks, right, if we beat Tottenham and we win the game and I'm instrumental, it's sweet. But I think with Ronaldo coming back, Pogba coming back, I'd like to think that our form suggests we should beat them, especially with Man United being bad form. You know, they couldn't even score a goal past Watford, but I just get the feeling that they'll turn up in this game, but they won't win. And I think we should win, but we won't. So I'm going with the Kuzelewski 2-2.
Can I change my first scorer, please?
Haven't you bollocks? We will move. No, yes, go on, mate. Yeah, go on. Yes.
Romero.
Yeah, Ramiro. What's brought that on?
Just to be different.
Just fancy the change.
Just to be different, yeah.
Yeah, Kane's performing and all that, and I always go Kane, but just for shits and giggles, Romero.
Well, it's funny you say that, Alan, actually, because I spoke about it on Tuesday on coys.com. I'm same as Mark. I'm going for a 3-1 Tottenham win. But my first goal scorer was Eric Dyer. He was my first goal scorer.
Why?
He's just lethal. He's good in here. He should have scored against Everton, and he should have
lethal. He looks like he's constantly confused about what's happening on the pitch. That's what he looks like.
Lethal Diesel.
Yes, but he looks less confused than Maguire, who will probably mark him from corners.
Yeah.
So
I think Romero. I don't think Dyer will score.
Well, I think you're wrong, and I don't care.
I think you're wrong. Anyway. I don't care what you say.
I reckon Maguire will end up scoring from a corner tomorrow, and he'll be doing all the Albania again.
Yeah.
Oh, why you got to jinx us like this, Jacob?
I don't jinx him, man. That's why I do the predictions, mate. You know what I mean? Little dabble.
Nah.
That's why he's not lead. That's why he's not leading, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we finish off tonight, we've got another last comment from Kurz. Just read Chelsea players are working with their lawyers to leave the club by breaking their contracts because of the ongoing situation with Abramovich. Don't blame them. I think it's just funny that Lukaku's been sulking all season and now they can't sell players. I think that's just karma.
Do you know? I saw a GIF that made me piss myself. I'm sorry, like made me laugh. Is a picture of Lukaku in a car park with bags running, and people say he's on his way running to Inter Milan already. It was just hilarious. Just made me laugh.
And they thought, and people like Latimus Prime, as much a legend as he is, as much as a top lad he is, he still bangs on about him signing Harry Kane in the summer.
He's nice and quiet today, isn't he?
He's very quiet.
All the Chelsea fans are quiet.
Yeah, but have you seen tonight the Premier League now? Because now they're getting involved. Forget the government. So the Premier League now are getting involved, and they're thinking about whether they will be able to carry on playing any more games till the end of the season. Now they're seriously thinking about it.
Really?
That's no. So I understand. I understand to some point about sanctions against Roman. I understand to some point, but penalising the club and the fans and the players something they're not in control of. I don't agree with all of that. I think that, if you want to deal with Roman as a separate entity, do that. But I don't agree with everything else on top. I think it's a bit too much.
But that's not. It's still owned by an oil guy. So forget it that it's a sport that we all love. If you worked for a company like that and they closed the company down, you wouldn't be working. So just because it's a sport, we look at it, they should be allowed. It's a company, it's a business, isn't it? And that's where I think so that's where I think the Premier League, they are looking at it. Well, I saw it on Sky Sports News, and because I'm on there a lot, I kind of,
but hold on, when you have like managers or CEOs of companies that like get in trouble for whatever they do to they have to sell it or move out of the way of the thing, they still get punished, but the company can still trade and stuff like that.
That's CEOs though, not owners.
CEOs or owners, but I'm sorry, you have to ascertain the fact, because then you're getting all these people with all their livelihoods and everything, like the fans and all that. Fans can't buy tickets to the game because it's going in the thing in the pocket. So fans are getting punished as well. You need to, for me, draw a line between what's going on real world compared to what is going on.
But the money,
football.
But Alan, the money's not going in his pocket, because the money would go back into. They've actually suspended their bank account. The Premier League have.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Gentlemen, is this grounded football Tottenham Hotspur? Or is this
it's just something like this has never happened in our lifetime. So
I just think that certain fans
strange thing.
I think certain fans are obviously letting rivalry and biasness judge what should be and shouldn't be fair on a team. Don't get me wrong, I hate Chelsea with stuff like that, but I just honestly don't think that certain things should be being done that is being done. That's just that's my point of view on it.
Kirst, you should have. I hope you watched last week's show, because myself and Jacob were that show last week with Alan and Mark was just oh my god!
That's what we're here for.
It was the best. It was the best reunion of the
Alan, people are. It's the Alan and Mark show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On Tuesday, I watched it again. So while I was working from home, I thought, you know what, I'm going to put it on again, and I literally had the minute and just put it on, and I was just catching myself in stitches.
Yeah, it's such. I don't want Chelsea. Listen, I don't hate Chelsea. It's not. I don't have that passion of hate and love and things like that. It's a game of football. 11 players kicking a ball. Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, the sun's going to shine, my daughters are going to kiss me. So to say I hate them is that's harsh.
Hate's a strong word.
The sun's going to shine. Are you real?
Yeah, tomorrow's going to shine. Yeah, tomorrow. No. Well, where I am anyway.
I hate Chelsea in a rivalry sense and rivalry sense only, and the fact that they were formed in 2003 with their money and won so many trophies and all that. And literally, quite now, with everything that's going on with them, you'll probably see more Chelsea fans leave following Chelsea on Twitter and end up following Newcastle. No, they'll start following Newcastle.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what they'll start doing. So, that's why I dislike them. But yeah,
but it's just sad to see that something it comes to this. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I am surprised that nothing's happening to Everton, because the guy that owns the majority of Everton is another Russian oil guy.
No, but you see with Everton, have you heard about the FFP? So effectively, it won't be this season, but next season they'll probably get a deduction, because they've recorded a loss of about 206 million. So the likelihood is it won't be this season, but next season they're screwed.
Yeah, but then if they get caveat to that, there's a caveat to that. I heard Simon Jordan talk on that.
Yeah, that's
Simon Jordan, very good. when he explains it, where you can use COVID, the government have allowed, or the Premier League have allowed, something like 68 million every year for COVID. You can write off and everything, and it comes below the 105 million threshold.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
It doesn't really
actually quite
matter.
interesting.
It doesn't really matter. Everyone will be relegated anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Kerr says, if Spurs ever went to administration, she couldn't go to another Premier League club. She would go to Hull. Before we
Well, no,
finish,
not the 500 million we're getting from Amazon. That's going to
If that
set us
ever-
free, right?
If that
I'll be like
ever
Alan, mate. I'll
comes.
support Jules.
that's another discussion for another
No.
day. That is Mark. I mean,
I'd
before-
rather watch like golf or something like that instead.
I'd rather watch a dog walk.
Paint dry.
Yeah.
I think you two are just trying to compete now, and I'm going to put a stop to it immediately. Thank you all again very much for joining us on this Friday night. It's always a late show, but we love it. I've got the best panel on YouTube, apart from coys.com. We're about level, myself and Patrick as the guests. Obviously, Alan's just Alan. He's
No twerking for quiz.com when you're on here. This is the best show. When you go on quiz.com,
Yes.
you
Listen, I'm still waiting. I'm the best on you, and I'm still waiting for my invite. So, Carl or Patrick, wherever you are, pal, I don't know what you're doing. I listened to you guys in my car today, and as soon as I heard that raspy voice of Ryan, but I don't know.
Mark, you will be removed from the show.
You can't, mate. You know it. People would throw tomatoes at you in the streets.
Well, what a suck up.
This just looks better to me. It does.
I don't
Mark-
mind chilling down here with Jacob.
Mark
get
was
off
the
my
only
nose.
one here for me when Jacob did. Like I said, Jacob decided to go earn money for his family, being selfish, working on.
Even in COVID,
Yeah.
COVID, I was there, wasn't I?
Alan decided to go in hospital, chill out a bit,
Yeah.
get
Is that
ill.
what you call it? Chill out. I was in massive pain.
Have some jelly.
Alan was in rehab, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, Tottenham had me down.
He took the white coat off, didn't he? Just before we came on.
Literally, I was
Definitely
like
in a
that.
straight
Like,
jacket.
just like Tottenham.
Obviously, I love Kirsten Nicole. Obviously, Kirsten will be back on the show 100%. She's always part of this show. She's a massive part of this group. So whenever she is able to come on, she will come on. She's obviously got Mark's back. She'll tomato him for you. I presume. I don't know who she's tomatoing. It's got to be Alan, surely. Out of all of us, it's got to be Alan, surely.
What? I don't understand the I'll tomato him for you, but I don't understand why
I
it would
said
be
that.
me.
I said that
Chill
about
out.
Ryan.
Yeah, that's Alan. Yeah, that is how Alan speaks on this show.
What? Chill out.
Chill out, man.
Obviously, Carla's come back with Mark's message saying invites coming. And also, let me find it. He did comment a bit ago. Yep. Thank you for joining in, Carl, as well. Great show, chaps. Jacob's getting a slot ready soon. Alan's obviously Alan's always on every show, so Alan knows he's getting an invite very soon.
I float.
Like a great piece of shit, Alan.
Floater.
Mr. Hanky,
Alan,
Christmas poo.
Gentlemen, I love having you here on a Friday. Like I say, Kirsty's with us all the time, whether it's in the comments or on the show. She will be back very soon. But would you like to let everyone know where they can find you? And just for you, gentlemen, tonight, I'll even plug yourself right there, Alan.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, big and bold. I feel so important. Oh, wow. Yep, you can find me on my Twitter handle there. Nice and bold from Ryan. Thank you for that. You'll find me on the Football Terrace after every Spurs game, either, with a smile on my face or saying some really bad words, which I'm not allowed to say on here, so I will not go into that. You'll find me on Vibes from the Six. It's a gals channel, floater. I am indeed a floater. We do predictions for every week, and then obviously a review show at the end of the week. Coys.com as well. I'll be on there once a month or when I get an invite, like for extra shows to do that. And then I believe, joining another on the show as of next week. Talking everything to them in the middle of the week. This is still my number one, but I like to talk Tottenham, so I'll talk football with anyone. So I will be doing that as of midweek next week.
And he has the best chemistry with Mark as well. Out of everyone he's worked with on YouTube, him and Mark just right.
Combustible.
That's what it's all about.
In a good way, but no, we love each other.
Oh, yes. Like I say, if people could see our conversations after the show's finished, they'll when you two had your debate last week, when the show finished, I think we spoke for about 10 minutes. I don't think it came up once. That debate, it's gone.
Just football. It's just football.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, would you like to let us know where you are? I've got a bold caption for you as well.
Have you?
Mark.
Let me see. You know what? Everybody calls me, they message me, and I go, listen, I've got a wife and a life. I can only come on this show, and maybe every now and then I'll come on coys.com when I get that invite. But listen, I'm just so busy. I've got my girls running around. So, I love coming on here. It's my weekly therapy to come on here and sit with you guys and just talk about Spurs and everything. And I'd love to commit to other shows like Alan, but yeah, listen, I'd be like Alan, divorced and lonely.
Whoa, I'm not divorced. That's a bit extreme.
That was.
I'm not divorced.
Yeah,
single,
I'm
but
joking,
not divorced.
I'm joking. No, listen, I come on here, I've been asked to do other things, but now I enjoy it here. We have a good banter, we have a good crack, and we've got a good little thing going. Yeah, I don't need anything more to stimulate me.
God, I've got an imaginary divorce for an imaginary marriage that never happened. What's going on?
Oh, Mark, as always, it's
been
an absolute pleasure, and I cannot wait to read from WhatsApp Mark tomorrow.
You got Ryan crying in that.
He's a different animal on WhatsApp. He is brilliant on WhatsApp.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jacob, you have got your own caption as well. Obviously, I would never leave you out. Would you like to let everybody else know where we can find you and what's new for you on YouTube?
Yeah, so obviously the first and foremost, you find me on this show every Friday at 10 o'clock. I'll be on there for the foreseeable. I'm always happy. Like Mark said, it's good therapy to speak about Tottenham and just to get away from normal life. But I've always gone on this channel at the end about what I'm going to do personally, and I've started to do that now. So I've got my Twitter handle, which is the one up top, and it's the same for my Instagram, my Facebook page, and my YouTube channel. Most importantly, if you can, like the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and I'll be on there talking, predominantly Tottenham, but any big topics in football, I'll be sporadically putting shows up on there, and I'll be doing score predictions pretty much every sort of Friday, Saturday night. So if you want to just hear what you think my prediction is going to be, that's good. But if you like to have a cheeky little dabble, I'm quite good with predicting scores and goal scorers. So just give it a watch and see how you feel.
Speaking of predictions, shout out to Hussam, who just put a message in saying hello, Alan. He predicted that Mo Salah had already signed his contract for Liverpool, and he's now looks like he's not signing all that. So Hussam got that wrong, and I saw him cry on stream earlier on. So just to make him aware of that.
Yeah, that doesn't look like it's happening.
Yeah, that's Alan's other account. He's just he's logged into his other account.
Nah, that's the real Don Hussam, that one.
Carl, I will sort out a WhatsApp invite. Like I said, this Mark you've seen tonight is wonders. But when Tottenham played with WhatsApp, Mark comes out.
No, I'm not. I'm like this. Come on, be honest. Don't
you gotta get him in, man.
Don't tell the thousands that are watching us lies, please.
Yeah.
Honestly, I will sort it out for you, Mark. But obviously, thank you, gents. My platform for Twitter. No, it's not that one, guys. It's not.
Wow.
It's not that one. Sorry, that's my other channel. Sorry.
No. Wait, hold on. You prepped that. You put thought into that to put out there. How dare you?
He's been working on that all week.
No, I'm going management.
HR.
I apologize.
Rachel, Indiana, Prime, whoever it is, all of you. I want you in the meeting.
Yeah. Just underneath Mark and Jacob, this is the right one. Obviously, that's my Twitter handle. Every Monday, I'm on coys.com. So you will see, hopefully, Alan on a Monday. You'll see Jacob on a Monday. Mark, hopefully, on a Monday. Carl, who's been in here tonight, it's been fantastic to have you in the comments. Of course, I don't hate Alan.
No, you put forward into it. No.
Alan is a wonderful human being. Of course he is.
Oh, thanks.
He's a
Apart
terrific
from when you
human
hate me.
being. I don't know why Mark laughed so much when I said that. I think Mark's been fuck off. But gentlemen, I don't know where all these comments are coming from. Oh, it's the usual, the last minute comments of, oh, Conte's gonna walk, your club's finished, Spurs in the mud, blah blah blah. I did say earlier I'd block power. So I think I'll put the user in a timeout for now because I'm feeling generous. It's all right. Never mind. I mean, like Kirsta said, WhatsApp mark is fire. Everyone needs one. Yes, we do need a mark. Yes. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much for tonight. Fridays will never be the same without you, of course. Jacob with his new microphone and his headset. Alan with his optimism as always. And Mark, just Mark. Mark is just Mark. Like Kirst says, everyone needs a mark. So next Friday, hopefully we're back talking a Man U win, a Brighton win, maybe.
Well, no, Spurs win on both.
You know what I mean, though, Alan?
No. You just said, mate, you want to talk about Man United and the Brighton win.
Do you see why I've written this, Alan? Do you see why?
Oh, no, I get it. Now I get it. It's obvious now. It's
Yes, I hope to see a Spurs win against Man United and against Brighton. We will be back next Friday. The four of us. Hopefully, Kirst will be in as well. Gentlemen, I will see you all next Friday, and we will hear from WhatsApp Mark tomorrow evening.